Hey guys, what's up? This is LG Runs Wild. This is episode 3 for us. I'm here, the Young Buck, with our typical, casual host, Slow Gazelle.
How's it going, everybody?
And of course, Tiny Vishchacha.
What up, guys?
As everyone knows, it's always Vatty. It doesn't
Sadly,
change!
sadly, for everybody involved.
Yeah, it just never changes. You know? But that's okay, because we like having you here, and I think you like being here. It's a friendly,
A good time.
it's a friendly face for the crowd.
Save me.
Gotta have that friendly face. Much needed.
Yeah, because I'm not a friendly face. I just ban people.
Facts.
Facts. All right. So, well, week one's done. I know you Gazelle. You're super, better than us. Being an AHLer, second week is done. Like, shut the fuck up. We don't care. CHL.
Yeah.
Week one is done.
Yeah.
What are some of your guys' initial thoughts on week one?
Gazelle, you want to go first? I mean, you're so cool and all being in week two.
You're
Yeah.
from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd go first. Um, I did see that Kamloops started off really well, like I thought they did. I thought they had a really good bidding. Um,
Yeah.
coming out, which Pastor Gaines, he's been around the league for a long time, so I figured he would probably get some guys to come back that hadn't been playing in a while,
Yeah.
guys people might have forgot about, and um, he does his due diligence. Played with him a couple of times, really nice guy. Seems to know his stuff pretty well, so they came out pretty good. But overall, I think it was pretty on par with what I saw of bidding of like how I thought it would probably start.
Yeah.
Like the more experienced teams like Sarnia has started out pretty well. London, those guys coming back, they started out pretty well. Buck's team, did pretty well. He got pretty expensive center there that has no thumbs.
Sorry. Yeah, no thumbs. I didn't even go
Yeah,
3-0.
I
That's another.
I do want to point out though, I think this is the first time I've seen Niagara positive CHL for a very long time. So good job to them.
Facts.
That's not knocking anybody. It's just kind of cool, seeing things switch around a little bit. But I think the CHL is going to be pretty competitive this season. I did catch a couple of games, but not a whole lot. But I try to, pay attention to the C as well. Yeah, I'm the AHL commissioner, but CHL, I had a good time playing in the C, being staff in the C. A lot of guys I know in the C, so still familiar with it.
Yeah. Fatty.
Well, it's been an interesting week one.
Would you like to talk about
I
it?
didn't.
I
Yeah,
think we've talked about it enough. No, I summer season, and then it's an interesting summer season. We all knew it was going to be. Talent pool and all. It's been a busy few days for me, so I'm actually, if you are a manager in the CHL and haven't heard from me, that's like holy crap, you're like one of the few. So, working phones. But I really want to shout out a few guys that I think really came out to a blazing hot start that I didn't see coming. And nothing against them, I just didn't see it coming. Seattle
Yeah,
Thunderbirds,
I was gonna say Moneywags. Yeah, I did
Moneywags,
not see
and
that.
Jagrin.
Did not see that coming at all. And the other one.
Just yeah, it's just a great start to their season. Another one I'd like to call out is actually my GM from last season, Zegras, who is now Letter Kamaki with Slavkovsky and Graysonia.
Oh,
They
sorry,
really
yeah.
came out fast too, and it's good to see some parity in the league. I think that's something we briefly touched on last episode, and it's kind of showing itself in the CHL a little bit, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, you see guys like not that I want to see guys fail, but like Chicken Legs went 4-5-0 this week. Like that's a little different. Danky 2-4-3. I'm focusing on one division, but
Yeah.
like you know, it's just it's good to see some parity. It's as a manager and as being a manager for so long, it's like you run and it's a marathon, and then you get punched in the face a few times, and then like you got to keep running. And I've been punched in the face a few times this week, so no, I just you know it'll be interesting to see how these guys fight adversity and
Yeah,
you know.
like so far, like I've noticed, like just looking at standings, because like I've paid attention, but I haven't really like focused on like standings until like the end of the week. But like a lot of the vet managers are the ones at the top of the standings, and then a
Yeah.
lot of the new managers are all at the bottom, like at the bottom, like Vancouver,
Oh,
Drizzles,
Vancouver had
Drizzles
it
Brand.
rough, dude.
Yeah, and like I hear about Vancouver all the time because there's two staff on Vancouver. Crooked's on Vancouver and Shorty's now on Vancouver. So like I hear
Hmm.
about Vancouver every day. It's kind of fun. And then
Yeah,
like I don't know. I get
definitely a learning curve there.
Lethbridge, Weber. He's also brand new as far as I'm aware.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Um, and then
Well,
I
let's
mean
hope he's brand new.
Lieutenant Dan and Windsor. It's his second season, but like he had to recover from like Margot last season, and like turned that
Hmm.
team around. They did well, but then
Yeah,
You
they had a
know,
good run after that.
a team in that division that I really, really am excited to see how they do this season is Ellie and Dowinkle in that group.
yeah, Flint, yeah,
Yeah, it's
without
just like
Flint
if you're an
without
old
an
head,
eight.
yeah.
It's without an eight.
Well, I mean, but look at that team. Like, actually, it's some of Ellie's boys,
Oh yeah, yeah,
which is kind of cool. Like, I remember I had Tibbs back in like season 7,
Hmm.
of the CHO. So it's a lot of old guys, but it's kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
see Sebi finally get out of TC and do something. That's cool. You know, like it kind of brings you back a little bit. It's kind of neat.
yeah. Um, I'm not surprised to see Erie not starting as well as some people are like. You know, he's a returning manager, but like I don't know. I feel like Snoopy's losing his touch a little bit. I love him a lot, but not the
It's
stuff.
hard to take time off and then come back to
Yeah,
it.
it is.
Hmm.
Like that's really hard, and especially if you've been out of a league. Like speaking from experience,
Yeah,
it's really rough. And then to come into this talent pool,
yeah,
it's really difficult. So
and then like
Big.
yeah,
Go ahead, Buck.
it's very apparent more in the OHL who's like a returning manager and who isn't. Because like top teams, you got like Sarnia. It's posted he was last season. Sault Ste. Marie, Slayer again last season. They were like running for the presidents.
yeah.
Um, and then you got London. It's the crew from season 39. Like not surprising,
Hmm.
Drags coming back, but he knows what he's doing. He's always been fairly successful. Kingston, you got Plymmy and Edgar. Like Oshawa's Grumpy and Bad Larry and Swifty, like all vet
Hmm.
managers. And then Niagara, like you said, finally seeing success. But you got it's the crew from Victoria.
Yeah, SMS and Bomber.
Yeah, like all those
Yeah.
guys.
And then hold on, they brought on. Let's not brush over the fact they brought on JP Nasty, who
Oh
by
yeah,
Yeah,
himself
JP.
who by
Yeah.
himself is a successful manager. So like,
he was actually supposed to get a team, and he said he didn't have time to manage this season, so that he didn't, or not the
To fully run a team.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and then he was gonna
Yeah.
explore other options.
Yeah. He's been around for a long time, and he has ran a lot of
His
successful
his
teams.
Barry teams at the start of my like tenure as commissioner. Wow.
Even his Drakkar team, it was what season 32 and stuff. I remember
That was. I,
he had like he had guys like Knife Vet, right?
Oh,
Like
okay. Okay.
he found Knife Vet
wow.
prospect into the league. He gets him, and they had a good team there. Like he's always built rather successful CHL teams. He's a solid manager, so having a guy like that as your AGM is huge.
Yeah.
And SMS and Bomber already do well,
Yeah. They have.
like themselves,
Yeah.
and they're solid players. Like, I mean, that's a solid management group right there.
Yeah. There's okay. So Peterborough, I know everyone gives flack because it's it's a new guy and you got Snipe Show as the AGM as he's 2.25 mil as a goalie, but I
Mm,
feel bad. Like they went 2-7 this week, but they had a game overturned. Well, a goal overturned, which caused the whole game to overturn, and now they're dead last because they're 1-8. Like they didn't play really bad in some games, but other games were like really bad.
really?
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, I didn't see any of them.
yeah.
What was their
unfortunate.
what's their goals for and their goals against?
16-39.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've got some work to do.
they lost 5-1, 5-0, 8-3, 3-2, 6-1, 4-2, 4-2, 3-1, and then they won against Snoopy's team 3-1.
Gotcha. Okay,
Oh,
it was
that
a
hurts.
rough start there.
But they beat Mississauga 4-3 in overtime, but there was a goal that didn't count. So it would
Oh,
never have gone to overtime, therefore they lost 3-2 in regulation.
mm,
That sucks. Like
that's
Yeah.
tough.
it's tough.
Yeah, I mean that just comes down, knowing the rule book,
Yeah.
um, being prepared, to make sure things don't happen like that. And
Well, it's like that conversation last week. Like, you're in charge of 17 people on a team. That win could really like be the difference between like playoffs and not playoffs.
Yeah.
Like every win's important, and especially with the shortened season. Because CHL has one less week than AHL and NHL. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I know like when I used to manage and when I ran teams, usually we had a management member. It worked out for us. We had a management member in a game on each night,
Yeah.
right? And
yeah,
in all the games each night. So it kind of worked out for us. But um, if you don't have that ability, the best thing is get a guy that's like that wants to be there. He's happy, right? Make him like the captain of that line. Make sure if like you're not around, let's say there's some nights where all three members of management won't be around that much and can't answer right away. Make sure he understands the disconnection procedures and create a channel in your Discord that has all that information there. That way
Right.
they can just quick reference it.
Yeah. Because like, it'd be nice if we could go 1 week without there being any like severe issues. Like I know
Mhm.
it's hard,
the
and
1-9 buck game one
yo,
and two and three.
I will literally say, night one of the season went like absolutely smooth. There was no issues.
Yeah, I remember you said
Help
that.
desk in the CHL managers chat with nothing, and then
Mm.
night two and night three were just everything blew out of proportion. I'm like, well, I'm glad the first night started well.
I think was that
It
the
was too
night
good to be true.
that there was one night, I can't remember if it was, I think it was last week. Um but we actually for the N and the A, we actually said no penalties for lag outs because there was a bunch of
Disconnections.
disconnections
Yeah,
and that might have been week one though.
probably
Can't remember
was.
off the top of my head, but
Cool. Just keep talking about your week ones.
Yeah, we had preseason.
oh dude, it was bad though. Like all of a sudden out of nowhere our help desk just like lit up with like 10 teams Like, and these were not, 5 games. These were 10 different games, all
Yeah,
saying we had a guy leg out. We had a guy leg out. Like, what's going on here? And it's like, oh man, what?
that sucks.
So yeah, it was fun. That was our busy night, but it's helped us. Otherwise, it's been pretty calm for us.
Like even this week, like I was surprised. LGTC, like for first week, fairly active. I'll give it that. Like I know it's LGTC and like nobody wants to play in it because it's LGTC. It's just organized sixes. It's not actually LG. Like I get it. But it's a chance to play organized hockey, have your stats recorded, if you're active, teams will see that and will try to trade for you, play with you, get on roster. Like it does pay off, like
Yeah,
to an extent.
it's
And
yeah, and it's a taste of how LG is like
exactly.
it's the entry door to it. It's a good thing to be a part of,
And like
especially if you're brand new in the league.
and if you don't want to play one night, you don't have to sign up. It's not required. It's you go to the forums on like Sunday. There's 3 time slots: 8, 8:45, and 9:30. Why at those times? Well, 8 there's no CHL game, so you can play the 8 o'clock game. And if you need an to ECU at 8:30, bang, you can do it.
Hmm.
If you don't, well, great. There's an 8:45 game. You can play that. It'll probably be done around the time that the 9:10 game rolls around. Hey, they need an
Yeah.
ECU. Your game's probably ending. Or if you have to back out, you gotta back out. It's all good. It's just a TC game. And then like 9:30, same thing. It's like right before the 9:50, so like you can always most guys
And
know.
another thing that's big with TC games, I think a lot of people don't notice is that it also helps your owner look at like, hey, this guy is active. He's playing a lot of games. Like
Yeah,
he's around. Like they're gonna see that. I mean, especially like veteran owners, like they know who they have that's around on TC, who can be relied on.
yep. You'll see, especially
And
towards trade deadline, you'll see a lot of the guys that are active in LGTC get moved around to like the higher seeded teams, and everyone's just like, "Yo, who is this guy?" And it's like this guy's tearing up LGTC. You just don't see
Yeah.
it because you don't go look there.
hmm
He'll be like he'll have 28 games played. He'll have like 75 points because some games legit are go like 14-2 because it just ends up being like a bunch of brand new guys who don't know what they're doing and a bunch of vet guys that are all on the same team, and it happens and they blow one team out of the water.
Like any game of sixes.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
There's always the potential there. Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
the first night we only had one game at each time slot, and that's fine. Second night we had 2 at each time slot, so that's 6 games. So you still got 24 players playing. Like it's a start. Like that's
You
fine.
know, I wish like when I came into the league that
Yeah.
it was structured the way it is now. Because back then it was just red versus blue games, and it was literally like a disorganized draft lobby.
Yeah.
uh, it was a mess. And
Those were the days.
yeah, it was hectic, and like the way it's improved every season since Buck has taken over, and nothing against the guys before him, but Buck had an idea, he ran with it, and he's improved upon it based on feedback from people or
Trying to.
um,
I was
yeah.
trying to.
Yeah, I mean, you know, uh, honestly, I think you're doing a great job with it. I think it's pretty well received for the most part, and I think it's great as far as keeping guys active. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like people have to be active.
I feel bad because like I get this a lot. It's just like there's a lot of signups some days. Like there'll be like 47 signups, and you're like, perfect. That's like at least 3 games, and then it generates one, and I'm like, what the fuck? And or I'll be like, it'll generate 2, and I'll get PMs from guys like, yo, this guy's played like 12 games. I've played one. How come he keeps getting picked? And it's like, it's a random generator, dude. Like, it's a site algorithm. I have no idea how it works. I just click a button that says make game. And it just
Make game.
that's literally it. Just make game, and then like it just pops up on the screen, and I click on it, and it shows the lineup, and I'm like, 0 games, 47 games, 12 games, 2 games, and it's like 65 games, 40 games, 40 games, 40 games, 30 games. It's like, damn. Well, this is gonna be a shit kicking.
This is
Or it's gonna be a really big ego bounce.
That too. It happens a lot. And like at the end of the day, like we all said, it's just a way to get active and playing organized hockey, and you get to have your stats recorded. I think that's also a big thing.
You also get to meet and play with a lot of different guys,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean,
yeah, if you don't have
alone-
any boys in the league, it's a great way to meet people.
Exactly. Like if you're brand new, you just heard of like a lot of LG, like guys that come into LG, you'll ask them like how they heard, and they're like, word of mouth, right? Like, oh, I was in a random group and this guy asked if I played.
Yeah.
That's how they heard about it, right? So like these guys are coming in, they don't know anybody other than the guy that asked if they played, and it's just a good way to network, meet people, and get like then you can get more guys playing like more games, and like you'll see a lot of guys in the shout box, which I love that. That's one of the best things about LG, I think, is the fact that we have the shout boxes right there on site.
Yeah.
And also there's the TC Discord too.
Yep.
I see a lot of
It's
activity in there.
now, man. There's like 900 people in it. Because it's combined for PSN and Xbox, and I'm PSN slacking a bit right now, but they're trying. It's tough. The PSN side, it's worse than our side for that, because like everyone's really active, and then it just they play like 2 weeks, and then it's completely dead, like completely dead.
Like interest is gone, or like
oh yeah.
I guess I don't pay as much attention to PSN
last
side.
Season,
So
they did like 2.5 weeks, and then I switched to the tournaments, and they tried to keep it going, and it just died. Yeah. So
yeah, I thought the transition to the tournaments last season was pretty cool.
I like the tournaments. I really
it re-sparked the interest.
So the community poll actually had the tournament. So it was a hybrid. It was like Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday was the randomized games, and then Wednesday, Thursday was the tournaments. But the issue is that the managers have to organize their own team for the tournaments.
Yeah.
And they thought, and it seems like it's more work, although it's just, asking somebody to gather 6 guys that are on your team C.
Well, I mean, the best thing to do in that is assign a guy that is interested in it and is active. Assign him as the TC captain.
Yep.
And you can even let staff know that.
Yep.
Like, because we don't expect managers to be around 24/7. Everybody has lives.
I expect the most out of my managers at all times. I expect the best out of all my managers at all times.
Yeah, there you go. That's a solid answer from a politician there, fellas.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like
bias.
Yeah, but I mean, on a serious note, though, a lot of teams did that last season.
Yep.
And it worked out really well.
It was fun.
So it also helps that guy get like a taste of management.
Yep.
And like, hey, this is what it's like getting a group together, or getting a party together.
Yeah,
it helps in multiple ways.
The tournaments were cool last season too.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you did get 6 of your own TCs to play, when it comes to games where you need, like, multiple ECUs and you have multiple gullies that are available, you already know who meshes well with who, and you can put them in together.
What team was it? Was it Sudbury that was, like, ripping, like, 2 weeks in a row? I think they won? Or...
Sudbury won 2 in a row, and they made, like, 5 finals. Kingston was always going. I mean, Pliny ran his RAVs. And it was like Country and Co. But
yeah,
like
but they're still active. You got a team
You
in there,
still have to have guys active.
and that's
Yeah.
the main focus of it, is just getting guys active. And it is cool though to see RAVs doing it too. It's not just for prospects.
I'd love to
So
see some of the big NHLers. Honestly, like, because one, it's a learning experience for some of the new guys. Yes, there's probably going to be a shit kicking game, but like, you will learn. If you are on that ice team, that's at least still 5 guys learning something from this one like elite guy.
yeah,
Right.
But I'm being realistic and not expecting anyone ever to do that when they're that level of player. I don't
right.
expect a Nuge to come down and be like, I'm an RAV, I'll play LGTC game. Like, I don't expect that. Be cool. I encourage it,
Right.
but I don't expect it to happen. I know you were
Yeah.
going to say something, Batty.
I was. RAVs just there's some out there that like play their role well, you know.
Hmm.
There's other people that ego the hell out of everybody else. So it really is. It's slim pickings out there for TC right now too. So I think that's another thing. And like when you actually have something to play for, that's not just meaningless club games. Because let's be honest, no one cares about RP, and if you do,
Yeah.
no one really does. So that's kind of shocking. I'm not saying you're weirdo for it, but you're a weirdo. Um, there is nothing really like to play for. That's the hardest part about Chell, right? Is like aside from your build up your stats to prestige 1, there's nothing to really play for.
No.
That's
Yeah.
why we are all here playing LG.
Hmm.
So you have to remember the only way that we can improve the quality of the league and parity is to have people that are new come in and get better and kick guys down the ladder and move around. And so I think that it's really great that we're getting these guys involved because personally, especially this season, I know there's a lot of managers that have been checking the EA SHL stats, and it'd be a hell of a lot easier to just use the site and just and see,
Right?
hey, so and so has, this many points, and you can check advanced stats. I was just looking at the LGDC um, site and or forum on the site, and it's,
Hmm.
I mean, hey, I got some guys I'm gonna look at, like.
Yeah.
And they're actually the 25 guys on the site that I'm seeing aren't big names. Like they're actually guys that,
No, that you don't know. Or, like,
yeah,
they're just, they want to play because, they have a chance.
Hmm.
Especially this season, they have a chance to play.
Yeah.
that's the
Be,
thing. Like
One way or
we need
another.
to support that,
and
Yeah.
especially as managers.
yeah. And, I mean, we will. And,
And
No, I meant
that's
manager side. I think you guys are
yeah.
doing a great job with the TC Discord and everything. I actually had 3 of my guys hit me up when they got assigned, asking what the TC Discord was immediately.
yeah.
That's
Now,
awesome.
they were like, I want to shit kick some kids. But like, like it's a great thing to see. Like I was like, oh, that's awesome. Because like I didn't actually understand the first time. He was like, where's the Discord link? I was like, you're in the training camp side of the Discord, bud. Like I don't I don't know what you're asking for. And they're like, no, the TC Discord. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Hold on. It'll get sent out soon.
Yeah.
Here's the thing too. Later in the season, right? Especially in summer season, people are gonna be taking vacations, and it's gonna happen. It happens every season, even not in summer season. You'll see an owner go, "Well, I have no TCs around. I'm gonna have to forfeit. Can't this guy just play more than 3 games this week?" No. And if your TC, and then they're like, "Well, my TCs aren't active."
Ban them?
Who's that fall on? Like, I
Ban
mean,
them?
that if you didn't have active TCs the whole time and you've actively tried to reach out to them, that's on you. That's not on the league. And when you take ownership or any management position in the CHL, you do so understanding that this is the development league. like, do we expect you to nonstop be getting your TCs in games? No, but you should try to be like, hey, we need a spot. Like that should be the first place you're looking if you're
Yeah.
trying to win club
Just
games or
yep.
something, right? See what you have, get the guys in games because that goes a long way with those guys. Like if they're like, hey, my owner's cool, like he invites me to games, and then you got guy B's like, oh, I don't even have that Discord muted, and they never invite me to play. That two different experiences right there,
Yep.
Yeah.
and that's why like the TC league now, like you throw that in your TC Discord and say, hey guys, join this. This is another way to stay active. So then they're not just relying on waiting around for you to invite them. So it's just another way to keep them active. It's a great thing.
Yeah. And like with the activity, we're seeing obviously more players want to stick around. So and you were just talking about availability, like especially summer season. Speaking of availability, how about the new system Trish just put in? Like,
That's
I want
fantastic.
to give a shout out to our site owner, like Tris, because last season when you had made that like the quick sign up tool to like
Hmm.
do at least 2 weeks at a time, that was dope. Like to be able to just go and click like check 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 and not have to wait like 17 hours for the site to like buffer.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But now you can
Amazing.
do the entire season. You click that fast sign up button and it pulls. And you just gotta scroll down and it's got every game for the season. Like,
Yeah, I
like
think.
my avail is done. Like I went on vacation like between week 7 and like all of week 8, and like I have all my avail like in perfectly for the way my schedule works. I'm
Yep.
pumped.
Yeah, that's same with me. When that got implemented today, actually,
Yeah.
I was like, oh hell yeah, that's fucking awesome. So like I've been 6-9 the first 3 weeks of the season for in the AHL because my kids play baseball. Got 4 kids, right? So um, I have that, but then the rest of the season I'm 9-9. So I was able to, instead of having to just even like the 2 weeks, it's like, oh yeah, I gotta hop back on, do my avail. I just went on there, did them all, and
Yep.
now I'm done for the season,
Yep.
right? And if anything changes, like all I have to do is just pop the app up and unsign up for that game.
Pretty
It's
much.
better to have it there than to be like, oh shit, I forgot to put avail in, or your owner having to tag you and be like, side avail,
Yeah,
So,
especially now that it's like mandatory. Like we're trying
hmm
to push so hard to get the numbers as high as possible to having your availability on the site. As a player, it truly does protect you in the sense of, hey,
yep,
you say that you're 9 out of 9, but you didn't put it on the site. Guess what? You're considered 9 out of 9, and your manager can schedule you anywhere. And if you don't show up, guess what? You're banned.
Right.
how often did we used to see before requiring site avail? Like, how often did you see Discord messages being edited
All the time.
with avail, right?
All
All
the
the
time.
time, all the time. That's why we're like, we can't accept this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we just can't. You got this guy saying this is what he provided me, but then this guy has a screenshot showing something completely different of the same conversation. It's just like, yeah, there's only one way to fix this.
Yeah.
So I
I just
think,
like how easy it is, and some people are like really savvy with the site and really like can jump on and do their avail real quick or with the app, and they have no issue. But for some reason, I don't know. As a manager, I found this. Like there is a little bit of that percentage of people that really hate going to the site
Yes.
and are really site
mm-hmm.
illiterate, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Well, now you can just like do it once and be done,
Yeah,
and that is nice.
And like,
that is what is
if they're
amazing about
really
it.
having trouble with it, guess what? You have a manager who can help you do it. And
That's
this
well, hold on, Buck. That's giving people thinking skills. That's
credit,
Can't be doing that.
credit,
yeah, the
Well,
credits.
and then Brody also threw a video there. So if a
yes,
guy's like, I don't know how to do it, and the manager doesn't have to explain it, they just take that video, send it to him. Just say, hey, watch this. It's 30-second video,
Yeah, so 30
and it's
seconds.
done. That's how long it took to sign up for the season.
30
30 seconds.
seconds on his
Bam.
phone.
On his phone. So
Just literally
and
click, 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 scroll,
boom.
click, 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 scroll, click, click, click.
Yeah, when that got announced today, because like we knew that was something that was being worked on,
Yeah.
right? And but when it finally happened, it's like, oh, thank God, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I love that that was implemented, and like you said, props to Triss and props to Brody for pushing for it, and um, it's a great thing. I love it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna really enjoy using it. Over time and too. It makes life so much easier. So
Yeah. Fatty, you at the start, when we were talking about the standings and stuff, you were saying you're on the phones a lot right now. You're making a lot of moves right now.
yeah, I've been like on Discord the last
So
2 days.
okay, well, so you could talk about this because you're still a manager. Trade etiquette.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this is something we've discussed a lot. Um, just in messages too. Um, all three of us have been managers, so I'm not letting you two off the hook either. You guys gotta give me some input on this.
I'm old
Um,
fashioned.
yeah, I so I think the most annoying thing for me, is you like the big goes are like be respectful
Mhm.
to your other manager. Like you don't want to be treated the way that you're treating them, then don't do it. Like it's pretty simple. But I've seen a lot of people in my time in LG like think they were cool and just,
Mm.
you know, go off on a manager or just be like or berate them into trying to do a deal. Buck, we've seen that, especially in the old LG. Like that was a big thing where you bully someone into a trade.
Yeah.
Um, it just doesn't
Yeah.
work. And I
No.
think actually, I'm not going to say much about it, but I think that's happening is still a thing from what I hear.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, it
but,
definitely is.
I haven't had it happen to me, and maybe it's just my tenure here, or maybe I just don't have good enough players.
I think it's
um,
more that people know that you're not going to succumb to that.
That too.
no, no. I think I've
Honest.
openly said like you can dump on me in the show, and I really don't care. Like I'll just sit in it.
Yeah, you don't care.
Do
You're like,
anything.
okay.
But like honestly, one of the most important things about trading is that once you gain a reputation as a trading manager, you are fucked.
Oh yeah.
Or you're golden. There is literally
Yeah.
no between. If you get pegged as a dirtbag trader, you're done. Like nobody's gonna want to trade with you. Everyone's gonna try and make the deals as awful as they can for you.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not
100%.
discount that people already want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So, like that's one of the weird things that I do that a lot of managers don't do. And I'm not like put myself on a pedestal because maybe it's the wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
But one of the things I do is, and I'm looking through messages, right? And I'm just like, you want to approach the person with respect and just usually hit them with the, "Hey, what's up, man? Cool. I'm interested in this."
Mhm.
What I've noticed a lot this season more than anything with the newer managers is they're like, "Give me an offer." Well, I hold on, wait. I don't even know what you want.
Yeah, I hate that. Oh man.
How am I supposed to hold on? Let me mind read real quick.
I love it.
Let me
Oh,
let me send you a mind bullet.
yeah. It's like, dude,
That's
I just want to have a
sorry.
chat.
That's funny though. Send me an
It's
Yeah,
offer.
true.
it's
It's true.
it's 100% true.
Oh yeah.
I just want to chat. Like that's the thing. I think that makes it a lot easier because what I've noticed is
Mhm.
I make trades every season with the guys that everyone complains about trading with.
Yeah.
Um, and funny enough, those guys that are always complained about are the veterans that usually do the same things I do. So they're like, we're chill and we're just like, hey, I like this, you like this, cool. Think we can make something work? Think that's fair? All
Hmm.
right, cool. We both agree. Let's move on. Like I don't want to take up somebody's 3 hours of a day, right? So when I approach somebody, I make sure that I'm gonna have I'm the guy who can press the button. So I'm gonna hit you up and I'm not gonna try to waste your time. But if you waste my time and if you're watching this and I called you out, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. That mattress sucked ass to move up 3 flights of stairs. And I remember what you said that entire time. So, no, for real though, I usually, I usually don't try to waste anybody's time, and I don't think anyone should. But
Yep.
also on the flip side of that, I will say, because I don't know if Buck can say it, but like on the flip side of that, if someone says no to a trade, and
I'll talk about
the
it.
whole
Yeah.
the whole bullying thing, yeah, like
Just
I
we've
go ahead,
it's just
go
we've
ahead.
already gotten like this season. I don't get it. I get there's a lot of new guys. I get there's a lot of returning guys from that haven't been managers in a while.
Hmm.
But when someone tells you no or they reject your trade, stop sending it repeatedly. It is annoying. It's just going to lead them to not make a trade with you in the future when they want something from you because they're just gonna be like, well, this guy already did this to me, and like,
Hmm.
Well,
un-
I think liken it to real world, right?
yeah,
Like if someone says no, it's no.
not changing the offer isn't going to change the answer. If they said they're not moving something, they're not moving something. You could offer them probably 300 million alpacas, and they will not move.
$300 million and
You're not making progress through the first 3 times you've asked. You
yeah.
may want to move on. Um,
And
no, I think that's a big thing though, right? Like with a lot of the newer guys, I you shouldn't be disrespectful to anybody because you get your ass whooped next day by them. Either on the ice
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
whatever. But I've seen a lot of disrespect this season. A lot of it just manager wise, and especially in the trade market, and it just etiquette all around as a manager.
Yep.
Like you gotta, hey, we're all doing this in our free time. Respect that.
Exactly.
We're all doing our best. We're not trying to screw people over. So
Nobody deserves
Yeah.
to lose sleep over this. It's a video
Yeah.
game on a website. I get that we all love and care and put in a lot of time and effort, but at the end of
yeah,
the day, it's still a video game. And it
Hmm.
shouldn't be stressing your lives out to the point where you cannot sleep, you cannot eat. I know there are managers that are having that issue and that always do. And I really think and hope that you do get help. And I mean this sincerely because I've been there and it is on that's why I stepped away from management because it started affecting my life in a very
yeah.
negative way.
Or do what Batty did and find the girlfriend who doesn't care.
Uh,
Then then wipe her
uh,
out.
a big thing, like with trade etiquette too, like be a good human.
Yeah.
Like, so you hit me up on a Saturday, you're berating me, like I'm just gonna ignore you. If you keep like, I mean, I've only blocked like probably two people, and that's just because like I said no, and they kept going. And I mean, I'll literally name drop right now. Twitch Billy blocked him. He was bad for it.
I don't have him blocked, but yeah, I know he was bad for it.
I just blocked him that season because I said no, and he just kept doing it. But
Buck,
on the
Buck,
flip
hold on.
side of that,
On Gazelle, hold on. Let me give you just a tidbit of what Twitch Billy did that season.
you had it too, huh?
YZ dot 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 dot
Yeah.
or ABC,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you didn't answer in 2 hours, his backup offer was sent to you.
Yep.
out of nowhere, out of left field, could be a guy you didn't even discuss.
Yeah. It,
I got a lot of complaints about him with trading. It was
I
just
yeah.
like
And
they would literally just send me their alert page, and it'd be like Wichita Thunder, Wichita Thunder, Wichita Thunder, Wichita Thunder.
yeah,
I'm
and
just like,
I was never
it's
I
like,
was never
oh
one
my
that's just
god,
gonna go into the management chat and just start roasting a guy. I've never been like that.
no,
So like after I had told him, in that situation, no, several times and he just didn't get it. That's why I blocked him for the season.
yep,
Right? And after the season was over, I unblocked him. But like that was just like, okay, not trading with that team.
yep,
That's the quickest way to get on a no trade list.
yep.
And other
And
things
you
go into
know,
trading. Oh,
no
go ahead,
man,
Buck.
I said any no management list.
Oh yeah, and amount too. But another thing that we've seen upticks in the last few seasons, bad faith trades,
Yes,
and that is the worst thing you can do because like why lie about a guy's avail? Because the second he gets to that team, they're gonna find out, right? And especially if the player went somewhere he didn't want to go, they're gonna give him the screens of him telling you that.
I'm
So you're gonna
so
get slapped
glad
with it.
that player avail is now public for managers league wide if they're every
Exactly.
single week. It is such a sick tool because the manager could say the guy is 5 out of 9. The guy goes
Hmm.
to his new team, says, "Hey, I'm 9 out of 9," and they're like, "It's a bad faith transaction." No, it's not. If you look, they were literally 5 out of 9 on the site each week. They were on that team.
Hmm.
The fact that he's 9 out of 9 for you, congratulations! You just got yourself a 9 out of 9 player, but there was no bad faith there.
Yeah. And like another part of the bad faith stuff, like guys that are gonna be called up. If you've been told by an AHL manager,
Yeah,
hey, we're gonna call this guy up 2 weeks from now, you need to communicate that.
yeah,
I'll take you back to season 35. OG Loki threw me a nasty trade offer for a DP that had been down the whole season. This is at the trade deadline, right? And he threw me a really good deal that would have improved our team a lot. And it was just for this one player. It was a 3-for-1.
yeah.
And I could have easily been shitty and been like, yeah, sure, send it over. But no, I didn't. What did I do? I said, hey, this guy has a 90% chance he's going to be called up this week. And he was like, holy shit. He's like, dude, thank you so much for telling me. Like, a lot of people would have just accepted the trade. Like, you could have fucked me over.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, I'm not going to do that. Like, I wouldn't want that. Like, would
Right?
any of you guys want that?
No. I've
So
had it
what? Like,
happen to me many,
yeah,
many
I
times
think
before it was,
so have I.
punishable offense.
And it just makes trading more difficult. Like, I didn't have a terrible time trading. I found trading to be easy. And like Vatty said, it was a lot of small talk involved, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we bullshitted. It wasn't like sometimes we'd talk for like 10 minutes and not even talk about players.
Yeah.
We'd just be like going back and forth about how the season's been, what are you up to today, shit like that. And you build that rapport
Yep.
and it makes trading easy, right? And that should be your focus is building rapport to make trading easier. Not
Also, another one too, just to build off what you're saying, not to interrupt you,
no, you're
but
good.
like i- if you don't go into every, I don't want to use that word, but uh, you should want to win the trade for your team,
Mhm.
always. But there's a word I'm trying to avoid using
Yeah,
because it's just, yeah.
I know what you're
And
talking
if
about.
you're known to
If
do that every trade, the likelihood that you're going to have a return customer is just little to
if you're
none.
looking
Yeah.
to win an overly lopsided trade every single time, you are
Yeah.
slightly a bit of a scumbag.
I'm gonna bring this up here because this is whenever I saw these, I just laughed and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna trade with that guy. They'll list their trade block and then they'll be like, we're not making any moves unless we feel it's an upgrade for us. So don't bother, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so you're telling me unless you can fuck me over, you're not going to trade with me. I
I
appreciate that.
actually remember
you.
Gazelle. I think. Were you reading Royals?
No, I was never
No.
reading. No.
There was a team I talked to like 2 seasons back and was like, it was great conversation. It was whoever reading was. I forget. It
Jay
was
Sawyer, I believe. Give me a second.
no.
No. I know who you're talking
Season
about because I had
39,
good
right?
conversation with him too. Yeah, season 39.
It was an old manager, Buck, like an old head.
What was his
Give me a
name?
second.
Hold on,
I'm pulling it
two
up right
seconds.
now.
I beat you to it, man.
Yeah, that's
Johnny
interesting that you think
Todd
that.
and Big 703. No, that wasn't it. Wasn't season 39. It was 38.
Then it wasn't reading I'm thinking of. It was someone else.
Nope, actually, it was season. Bet you it was season. No,
You sure it was reading?
that probably wasn't.
There were a couple ECHL managers like Batty and I talked a lot. Season 39.
The Lions. It was
Toi Rivière.
he goes by Matthew now.
McQuaid?
It was McQuaid. That was it.
Yeah.
Yep, 39. McQuaid.
McQuaid's a
There you
good
go.
dude.
McQuaid
Yeah.
was just a pleasant manager to talk to, and like he would go into a trade. I remember we made a trade where I traded him like 2 guys that were buddies, and he traded me 1 guy back. And he was like, I really could use these 2 guys, and this is you're getting the better player, but like it's helpful for both of us because we both have needs here getting
Mhm.
met. And like if you're trying to go into a trade, especially what I don't understand is I've had 2 conversations this season with managers outside of the leagues that we play against each other where we don't even play each other. And let's be honest, like if I make a Mem Cup, I will legitimately streak around my apartment complex because it's not likely. And I do, yeah, but and
This show is not
like you're like,
PG.
no, it's not.
Why is that guy running naked out there?
It won't be PG if I would have met him either.
Why is he screaming Mem Cup? What is Mem Cup? What is he doing?
I'll be sent to the hospital.
Oh my God.
But I don't understand, like burying another team that's you're not even gonna play in a trade. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
We should all be trying to benefit each other. And like, hey, if you're in another league and you want one of my guys, and this trade makes sense, and we both have mutual interest, I'm not gonna try to like rake you over the coals.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should. You should try to win the trade for your team, but don't try to destroy another team because of it.
That's
But
another thing.
I think that's the problem. Is like most people get really excited about that. Like, oh my gosh, I totally destroyed that team.
See, that's why like last season when I went to Innate and I asked for a trade off of Flint. I was like, do not trade me unless it improves the team. I know that, and you know that I am your highest valued player on your team. You are going to get something back for me. But don't do it unless it is the best offer possible that improves the team the most. And he went, like I gave him a list of teams that I wanted to go to, and yes, most of them were at the top of the standings. Why? Because they had managers that I was, I'm close with, and I don't want to be traded to a bottom team. Like realistically, it's going into playoffs. You want to play for a playoff team.
Yeah.
And so he moved me
absolutely.
to Portland, and he got 3 really good players, and Portland got me and I believe another TC of some sort, and like yes, Portland said we overpaid for you. We were okay with overpaying for you because we have other assets that we really like anyways.
Right.
Because that's what good teams do. At the deadline, they stack up on like TCs and stuff, and then they flip them for permanent pieces on their roster while still maintaining a decent training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what a manager should do is try to like maintain that balance of like, hey, I have those assets for trade deadline. Now I can go get an improvement maybe because another team needs these two players. You know, two players at this position. I could get this one.
Yeah.
You can win trades with TCs. Like, and that's another thing. Like, don't make trades just to make trades.
No.
That's not a good thing for your team. Never is, right? Just trading guys to trade guys.
Yeah.
Buck, I was in your situation. Was it season 40? I went to Red Deer, the team. Like,
Yeah.
I was facing like 40 shots a game,
Mega Dare.
and yeah, you know what? Like, he was a newish owner. That was his second season owning. Great guy, really nice guy to talk to. Um, really understanding. Like he talked to me, and he knew that. Obviously, he knew I'd been in the league for a while. He knew that I wanted to be on a team that would have a chance to win, right? Like, not just like win games, like a team that would actually have a chance to make a playoff run.
You went to
And
Sarnia,
he
didn't you?
that's where I ended up going, yeah. But he came to me and he said, "Hey, he's like, I can't remember the exact number, but it was some ridiculous number of teams that had reached out." And he said, "Do you have like any preference?" And I gave him just a top five. I said, you know, these five, I would like, I'll play anywhere, but like if I have a choice in the matter, sure. Like, here's a top five destination thing. And then he came back to me and he was like, "Well, here's the offers on this." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. Don't tell me the offers." And he was about to list them out for me. And he's like, "Oh, like I can't tell you." I was like, "No, I don't know. Don't tell me that." And he's like, "Well, like you've been around for a while. I just want to make sure I'm not getting screwed over here." And I told him, I was like, those owners that you're talking to right now, like they're going to look to win the deal, but they won't screw you over.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're all good owners.
I'm pretty sure one of
It
those teams was probably my team in Winnipeg because we were trying to play
was,
together. So like
yeah,
that was innate, and innate doesn't do that.
yeah, exactly. And I told him, I said, at the end of the day, take the offer that best suits the team's needs. It doesn't have to be a 1-for-1. It doesn't have to be a 2-for-2. It doesn't have to be a 3-for-1. Like, if you are getting guys that are going to fill needs elsewhere, and then maybe you call a guy up off training camp, which is actually what he ended up doing. We had
Yeah.
a goalie on training camp that was actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
He called that goalie up, and because the trade involved players instead of getting a goalie back, he called that guy up. That kid did really well.
Yeah.
So you can win trades, getting TCs or other positions to help your team.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that new guys need to understand too. It's not always going after the big name. If you can get a core group of guys that play well together,
Yeah.
and you do piece by piece trading to get that, I mean, you're winning right there.
Yeah.
Like, you may not 100% win every deal. Like, would we all love that? Absolutely. But
Sometimes you gotta lose
sometimes,
the battle to win the war.
exactly, like I've had deals where guys have come to me and they're like, "Hey, I really want this guy from that team, but we just don't have anything that they like." So then I want something from that team, right? And they're like, "If you get this, I'll give you this." And it's like, "Okay, cool. Let me see what I can do." You go there and maybe you have something that that team wants. You get the deal done. You may have slightly lost that trade, but then you turn around
You got the
and you
guy
get
you
the
want.
piece that you wanted, right? Like, so you got to give some. It's a give and take thing, and like you don't have to just win every trade dramatically. It's just not how it's not realistic, and if that's what you're looking to do, you're not going to do well in trading.
No. And teams aren't built overnight. Teams aren't built
Mm-mm.
like it takes the full season, like realistically, because you gotta gain cam. You need to tinker around the loose ends and fill the blanks and fix it
Yep.
for call ups and but at the end of the day, it's what 8 weeks season, 5 weeks of playoffs. I get
Hmm.
it. It's just over 3.5 months, but I mean, we all like NHL, and we all like
Yep.
playing competitive NHL. So Ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, no, nothing compares to it. I have so much fun playing it.
Yeah.
The lifestyle, bro.
Yeah, it's it can be, I suppose. Yeah,
All
my
right.
wife likes it too. You know.
Yeah.
I are we Buck, should we discuss
What are we discussing?
the obvious?
I don't know what.
Yeah,
Just the importance of
integrity,
integrity.
doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
And no, we're not talking about Integrity Farms.
I'm gonna let you
Integrity.
expand. Continue.
It doesn't need to be anything big, but
I know where Batty's going with this. I think he's talking.
yeah, I'm talking about recent events.
Yeah, we've seen an uptick in tagging.
And just one that happened where I lost a manager out of it, but
Okay.
your integrity and keeping in mind that yes, it's one guy can't play in the league, but should 17 other players or more get affected from that player playing in the league with some people knowing and then have it ruin their season, I just
Yeah. No,
that's all I'm gonna say. Like
I get it. Yeah.
I think just keep your heads up, folks. That's all I want to say.
Just do the right thing.
Yeah, doing
Like
what is right because it's right.
it's not tattletaling. You know, like if you know someone's a tag, like what Kansas City Buck,
Oh.
that ruined an entire
Oh
team.
my
And
god!
they're like, but when I
Oh.
say entire team, I mean 5 guys
There
that
was
legitimately
literally
had
6
no clue.
players left
Like,
out of 17 because the GM and the owner played on every line. The owner played center on all 3 lines. And
He still plays, by the
here's
way.
the
oh,
thing.
I know.
Here,
He always
here's the
jokes
thing with
around
that.
In
with
other
me.
leagues,
Like,
yeah.
it ruined that team, right? But then there were still 2 weeks left of the season, so that's a game slot for teams that aren't getting to play that game anymore because that team no longer exists. Because at that point, you have no clue who's sitting on that TC.
Yep.
Well,
That
let's
There
just
could be,
that's
call
literally
out
the
the
reason.
obvious.
That's literally why I axed the team.
yeah,
You
you
can't
can't
risk.
you can't trust that TC
Nope.
at that point.
So
I mean,
And
look at the obvious though. How many seasons in a row did we? I mean, up until like I want to say the last 2 or 3, we had a second tag found on every one team in playoffs, and it was found 2 weeks too late,
mhm.
and everyone blamed the staff. But how do you blame staff? How are they all knowing? Like,
we
just speak
can't.
up and do what's
I
right.
mean,
a
here's
lot
the
of it
thing.
comes from the CHL managers being absolute savages when it comes to like digging for evidence.
Well, and some of them will just sit on it and wait because they're like, I'm gonna wait and see if this will benefit me.
That don't
And
work
that's
anymore though.
yeah, exactly. Now you're gonna we fix that port, right?
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like why know about cheating
And be okay with it.
and not bring it forward?
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna out people like, yep, it was this guy that brought it forward. Everybody go ridicule him. Like
Right.
that's not gonna happen. At the end of the day, like we all are here to do one thing. Play competitive, organized sixes.
Yep.
And tags literally ruin that. We see it every season. And it's just and the tag situation that happened, I was actually part of the team. And I was playing with the tag and had no clue.
Hold on, and that
So,
same tag. Let's talk about that. That same tag haunted LG 3 times
yeah,
and 3 different tags.
yep, yeah. It was a guy that was known, ended
Say
up
this guy
being
didn't
known
do
for
their job
tagging, and
either, but
no,
like it was always found after the fact, and it like how do you go back and oh sorry we gotta stop everything, replay the last 2 rounds.
I know for a fact because I was on the team that there was an individual that was certain that it was a tag, and he continually brought it forward, and without his due diligence, guy probably never got caught that season.
Yeah.
And then the worst part was after everything finally, like after the guy finally gets caught because all the evidence is in place, we lose an owner
Yeah.
on another team, and then we lose a bunch of players on other teams. Like I think there was like 5 people that knew about it. Was it? I can't remember exactly, but I mean, now you've ruined 2 teams
Yep.
by just not bringing it forward, and it's just like, why?
Think about
Why?
someone other than yourself. I
Yeah,
think that's the big thing.
exactly.
Like, and I think that's the main overall. Um, that's the that's what we're trying to talk about this show, guys. Thank you. Episode 3. Think about others before you do stuff. No, I'm just kidding, but like I'm not. Like trade etiquette, finding out stuff that is illegal to do on site, tagging, playing on someone else's tag, whatever you want to call it, like just being honest and forthcoming and open usually gets you a lot farther than hiding stuff and not being honest and being a a scumbag. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw a tidbit in there that I'm
No,
because as we record this show, my Discord is just popping.
Oh yeah, mine has been too, and that I'm just going to bed as soon as this is done.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Like I went today, but I just wanted to say say what you want, but integrity is what makes this league still fun to play in for everybody else,
definitely.
and coming forward and doing stuff like this does that. So whatever you want to say, cool. I'm Batty. Have a nice night.
Your tiny vice cha-cha.
Yeah, that's Mighty Mouse Cha-Cha. I'm a fat rabbit, motherfucker.
Careful.
Oh man.
Hey, I'm not calling anybody anything. I am just calling myself a fat rabbit. I can do that. I give
Oh boy.
that's what I identify as, Buck.
Sorry, I had to.
Mm.
I have big ears.
And a party had to.
Yes.
All right.
No.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
all right, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know we definitely had a good time.
Yeah.
And we'll
Always fun.
see you guys next week. Canada Day Friday, maybe even Saturday, and we'll be probably talking about what's gonna happen on the 4th of July. See you guys next time.